Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from Chop Studios right down here in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch, it is Gooch, it is Wrestling Rob behind the glass. It is officially official. Week one is underway. Last night we saw a shellacking. We'll get into all that. We hope you guys are having a great day out there. It is officially our first Football Friday of the season. With a full slate of games.
Ready to ride.
I am ready to definitely dive into this entire slate of games. Last night was interesting. But first and foremost, if you're just joining us for the first time ever, there is a way to support this show. You can go on over to patreon.com, and that's /Chop Sports, a $3, a $5, a $10 variation. Last night, I was fortunate enough, because I'm a Patreon member, I pay myself. I pay Patreon $3 a month towards myself. And because of that, I was featured in the little spinny thing with the brake buds, and I won myself an autographed jersey last night.
Yes.
Who it was, that's erroneous.
It's Covert.
Let's
we
not
don't know
talk
who
about
it is
it.
now. It's Jim Covert, Hall of Fame bum
Jimbo
from the Bears. Jimbo Covert.
Jimbo Covert.
Put respect on Jimbo's name. He was a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
I do want to clarify. Yesterday, we did not do a Patreon giveaway. That is going to be next Thursday.
Oh,
so the Barry
sugar.
Sanders card did not actually get given out yet. It's still on deck.
So it's just because I showed up in the room.
It's yesterday we just did like a NFL kickoff thing. Just show up in the room. So break buds are generous people. The break buds. I am one of the break buds. I am a generous guy. We give a lot of stuff away. So when we do these lives, I think it's going to try and be every Thursday or every other Thursday. It's going to really depend on how the store does. But check out breakbuds.shop and also join the Patreon, because we're doing giveaways. Both of those things get involved with the two of them, and you might get some
Hawaii Mike.
autographed
Hawaii Mike,
memorabilia.
It is spoken for already. My buddy Jay Silva, big Bears fan, a longtime friend of mine. I was the first one to text him last night heading to the bar. I was like, "Hey, you're never gonna believe what I got." And he's like, "Oh my god!" And like he was like really excited about it. I was like, "Oh, cool." I had no idea. And I believe I saw Kyle in the comments before. We are going to take a brief moment of silence for your -2.5 bet or +2.5 bet. Who did he bet?
He took the Rams.
He took the Rams.
He took the home dog.
No, he took the Rams.
Yeah.
Plus,
So my
right.
moment of silence, I'll share a moment of silence with Kyle. I did not bet because I had a lot going on. And when I went to log into my BetMGM account, for whatever reason, I had to contact customer service. And I was like, you know what? Rather than going and fishing around and finding one of the other, I had to like fund a different account. And I was like, I'm not doing it. It's all too much. I would have went 1 and 2 if I bet. So
you know,
I
it's
dodged
funny.
the bullet.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So would you say that it was like a sign?
No.
Like from God?
No. Well, that's funny that you say that, Dave. You want to start this? Dave?
I am not going down this God rabbit hole.
My mother's probably watching, and she's going to hear about my beliefs
No.
on religion, and I don't think we want to do this to Mrs.
No.
Gooch. She's had a hard morning.
All right. Well, shout out to Judy.
So shout out to Vinny joining the comments today because he's a Bills fan.
Oh,
He had
you
to
gotta
join
love
us
it.
today. What's going on, Ash? I'll see you later. Happy baby day,
You
Bailey.
just ruined
Bailey.
everything.
Bailey with the comedy. The comic relief of the Break Buds show last night, where he told my dad to kindly go fuck himself because he's sitting.
Wait. I gotta talk about. Go ahead.
So Bailey was sitting in the room for like 40 minutes, and we were spinning the wheel, and Bailey's name just never got picked. My dad joins, and he's like, there was like 2 spots left. My dad's like, "Oh, throw my name on the wheel." He's like, "With all due respect, Mr. Gooch, I've been here for 40 minutes. Kindly go fuck yourself." I want my name on that wheel twice, not yours once. Man. So that was good stuff.
So last night it was a really fun show to watch. I tell you right now, that's entertainment at its best. My buddy Greg was literally like waiting outside my car, ready to go into the bar, and I gave him like the hold on 1 second. My name might get pulled.
Spin the wheel.
They're gonna spin the wheel again. Like I couldn't leave. But yeah, go check those guys out when they go live next week. I have to say, so it's the first Thursday night football game. It's probably the only football game that I'll actually go out and watch, honestly, for the rest of the year.
You'll probably watch a few more Thursday games out.
Maybe,
a Monday night game
maybe. I don't know. I prefer it in the comfort of my own home on my couch watching TV, either there or obviously the Cowboys games with my dad and my brother. But last night, we start the night at the new Woodbridge Brewing Company, which, by the way, it's going to be a great facility. I can't wait for it to be redone and everything like that. They didn't have air conditioning. So I walked in there and I was like, I was feeling all sorts of ways. And I was like, oh, this is fun, right? And I was like, oh, I'll take a Miller. And by the time I was done with my Miller, I was like, I got to get out of here. So unfortunately, I couldn't stay. So me and my buddy Greg went on over to Big Shots. And the funny part about this is this is why I stay home for games. And it's not because of the crowds or whatever, because everybody's rooting for football. Everybody's having a good time. I saw Kasim last night. We were talking about his bets and whatever, because he's making a million of them. He goes, I just live bet your boys in the 8th. I'm like, why? When you talking about the Yankees? And I was like, you're an idiot. But no, the funny part was, and that's what Vinny brought up before, is that when you're out for these games, dude, I can like miss me with the fact that the DJ has to be involved at all. Like I'm not, this is no knock at any DJ who hosts Football Sunday or hosts football, but like, this is what it was. It was like tackle, first down, blah, blah, blah. And like the horn.
In
just
the bar?
Like, in the bar, outside. So I'm just like,
Bro.
Dude, like, he's like,
I can understand if
he's like, let's see if he gets this.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do you mean, let's see if he gets this? We're all watching
There's
this.
probably like no Rams fans there and
6
no
people in the
Bills
bar.
fans there. There's people there watching the game, but
Vinny was there. So he's joined us later.
But
That's what he's talking
understanding the
about.
point, it wasn't like you could work the crowd with the air horn.
Like, are you
It's not a
kidding
Giants game. If it was a playoff game, I could understand.
But I'm
you wanna
saying,
set
like,
the
it was just
atmosphere.
ridiculous. It was just like, the guy was just like, it was like 3rd and 7, and he would get on the mic like, big play here, guys. And we're like, I'm watching.
Are we at a high school football game?
I know. I'm well aware it's a big play. You don't have to interject every 3 seconds. And don't get me wrong, I had a great time. My buddy Greg brought me all beers for my final days in my age of 36, 37 tomorrow. God bless me.
Yikes.
But dude, yeah, air horn, dude, first down. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I can't, this is insanity. And the cigar smoke, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I know, Jack, listen, man, there comes a time and a place where, yes, for that period of time, things have changed a little bit over there, so they're not as bad. But at one point, I was like, F big shots too, because of how they treated our boys.
Yeah,
And still, look, here's the thing. Last night was 75. What happened?
On 3rd and 7, that horn was going off either way, conversion or a stop.
You just knew it was coming. And I'm like, this is so annoying. And that's why I don't go out for games, bro, because I can't. I don't need your 2 cents on every play. Like if Josh Allen makes a good play, like, oh shit, like we all did that anyway. Like I don't need the DJ to do it. It's annoying. Anyway, to that game. Why don't we bring that game up? That game. Well, actually, no. Before we get to the game, sorry.
Yes.
There is a rundown.
We do have
got
a
some
rundown.
sports.
It is kind of just football loaded, and we did have some interesting things that took place in Las Vegas last night that didn't involve the sport of football, which I'll get to in a moment. But first, a little bit of injury news. Michael Thomas is trying to give it a go with his bulky hamstring. Dennis Allen said that if it was up to the receiver, he'd be playing, but they're going to be cautious and hold him out if need be. Chris Godwin will be a game-time decision. He was seen at practice finally without a brace this week. So they removed the brace, but I think that there was a little bit of swelling that they're concerned about, and they might hold him out. I think they'll probably hold out Godwin just because they have Russell Gage. They have Julio Jones. They have a lot of receivers. So why push him now? They're here for the long haul anyway. Miles Sanders declared himself fully ready to go. So Miles Sanders will probably get the ball like 6 times. Steal a little bit of Gainwell's flexibility, but Miles Sanders, just his availability muddles the Philly backfield to me. So I don't start either of those guys. And that goes for Miles Sanders or Kenneth Gainwell. And then there's George Kittle's newly added injury that he's probably not going to be able to go on Sunday. So if you have George Kittle slated to start,
I'm guilty.
Most people don't draft a backup tight end. You can't do anything as far as IR yet because he hasn't been declared out, but monitor that situation, George Kittle owners. And Sunday morning, you might want to make a move and put him over on the IR if they do declare him out.
IR?
Yeah, because if you get declared out in fantasy football, you could place a guy on the IR.
I hate that rule.
What do you mean you hate?
Because it's not real.
No, it's like
he's not on the IR. He's out. That sucks. But he's not on the IR.
Dave, stop. All right. So the injured reserve in fantasy football is not anything to do with like the injured reserve. If you're out a player that week, he's not playing, you get the roster spot to add a guy. As soon as he gets declared questionable or better, you have to take him off the IR. That's like 100% any
archaic fantasy football league owner over here
in my entire life.
Why they got in a fight?
Well, they got in a
similar?
fight. This is
Tommy
what the reason why
Jock
Tommy
Peterson.
Pham and that whole thing was because on ESPN,
I can't believe we're talking
on
about this again.
ESPN, what happens is when you set a guy on the IR, your roster is illegal, but it won't count against you. So you don't have to make any moves, but you're not allowed to make any moves. You're not allowed to trade or add a guy until you fix the IR. So basically what I think was happening was Jock Peterson just had guys that were playing on his IR, but he just never adjusted it. And because ESPN allows that, the only ruling that ESPN does is you can't make a move until you fix it. So he's like, well, I don't need to make moves, so I'm going to keep it like this. That's what I think happened. I'm not close to the situation, but knowing what I know about the ESPN app, that's what I think. And Dave, it is archaic to not use the IR for a player that is out.
It's just not real.
Especially if you're in a league,
real to me.
Especially if
Still
you're in a
real
league,
to me, damn it.
especially if you're in a league that has 16 spots and 11 starters, and you have 5 bench spots, so you have to drop a really good player just because you need a tight end for week 1.
Draft somebody.
Okay, draft a backup tight end.
I've done it.
Okay. 16 spots, backup tight end, backup everything, backup quarterback.
Isn't that the point of the draft? To make sure you're like full roster? No?
I'm going to look at all your teams. I want to see how many backup tight ends you
have.
I
love any, except for my league.
I have.
My league, I
played in my league where there's 18 spots.
When Kittle went down,
like there should be.
When Kittle went down, I popped up on the injury list, right? I have a spot because I had Odell, and I was like, F this noise. Don't care about Odell. Can't put him on the IR because he's not on a team.
You can't put him on the IR because he's not on a team.
Right.
But
so
if he was
got
on
rid
a
of
team,
him.
he would be out. If you're on the PUP list, you can't go on the IR.
That's the same thing.
No, but it's the PUP. It's not the IR.
The PUP and the IR is the same thing.
It's
6 or 4 weeks.
It's the same thing. The same as out in IRR because they're not the same thing. One means you're out for 4 weeks. One means you're out for the season. So you like, what's the point of putting a guy on the IR? It's like,
also in your leagues where there's fucking 38 rounds. Yeah, you're gonna take.
I'm gonna debunk it right now. This is how you do it. Ready? So in a seasonal fantasy league, the reason for the IR is if a guy's on the IR.
Correct.
Well, when a guy's on the IR, he's typically out for the season.
No, not anymore in the NFL. Right.
Typically out for the season.
Then
you have one chance to come back. Then you drop him. So then what's the actual point of the IR?
Because if a guy gets put out for 4 weeks, then you put him on the IR because you're not going to use him anyway. So if that opens the roster spot, then you go get somebody.
If he's out for 1 week, you can't do it. But 4 weeks.
If he's out for a week, then go get another guy. Like you just.
I know. And then you
put
him on the IR.
Again, it's just to me, it goes back to the realness of the game. Meaning, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I am not a fan of your 4-point touchdown bullshit. It's 6. When you throw a touchdown, you get 6 points. That's how it should always be. And don't tell me, well, the draft order.
Do you get 12?
For what? Yes, I'm double if you throw it to your receiver. You have.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, touchdowns are supposed to be 6 points. So it's like, you get 12 for a touchdown to the same. 2 guys are getting 6.
My boy Greg won a fantasy league with Brady and Moss. Yeah, because it was just combo city.
Yeah, it's 6 points. It's a cheat code.
Anyway,
it makes quarterbacks too important. I think they already score the most points.
Okay, go on.
What else do I got? So that's it for football news and fantasy football debate about how you should run your fantasy league. Basketball news. Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway was inducted into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, and that completes the trio of the Run TMC thing that they had going on in Golden State with Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, and Tim Hardaway. All 3 of those guys make the Hall of Fame. I'm a big Tim Hardaway fan. I had to throw him in the rundown because you're a Knicks guy.
Exactly.
But the UTEP two-step is alive and well, ladies and gentlemen.
We will shout that out in a second, James, because that's funny.
Last night in Las Vegas, there was supposed to be a UFC press conference. That press conference got canceled. So a lot supposedly went on. Number one being that the UFC didn't have any security back there, and they let Nate Diaz's entourage of about 100 people
for real
show up backstage, which, and I'm being honest, Nate Diaz had very little to do with the entire altercation.
But he didn't throw any water bottles?
No, he did.
All right.
But when there is
very little to do.
But when there's an altercation and the Diaz crowd is around, they're going to pick somebody out that they don't like and start beefing with. So that's basically what happened. So Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev started chirping at each other backstage. Chimaev threw a front kick at him. Nothing crazy, just like a push kick to the chest. It got a little physical, a little pushing and shoving, but then the Diaz crowd was there, and Tiki Gosen, he's a former UFC fighter, but now he's a manager for a bunch of guys. If you saw his face, you'd know him if you're a UFC guy. He broke up the original fight, and he was just kind of standing there, kind of playing security, but Nate Diaz has had several run-ins with Tiki, and he started talking shit. Then it kind of bubbled over again, and then somebody threw a water bottle, then another guy threw a water bottle, and it was basically just like a bunch of kids having a food fight with like a lot of testosterone and at any given moment potential for a beatdown.
So Dana White did the right thing, I guess.
No.
Still a little bitch.
So Dana White didn't do the right thing because this isn't the first time there's been a brawl at a press conference.
I agree with you, Kyle.
and Dana White really just knew that the UFC was going up against the NFL. Right, there was no one was going to pay attention to the press conference anyway.
That's a good point.
And now everybody's talking about the UFC press conference today. Not everybody, but it's like it's the story. And really, it's a lackluster card. I feel like Nate Diaz's swan song, he's going to probably pull some crazy shit.
Yeah,
but
it
is a
bold
lackluster
prediction.
card at best. And going up against the NFL Week 1, I feel like they're just trying to make some noise.
They're not going against that. It's Saturday night.
Wolf tickets. The whole weekend is going up against the NFL Week 1. I'm talking the press conference was going up against the NFL game itself, right? So there is a little bit of back and forth, and it's Wolf tickets. It's just getting them in the news. People that didn't otherwise care about this card now might be wanting to watch it.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
I'll be watching.
Could you imagine being media, like you get called, like you guys? They're like, all right, guys, come. You guys are gonna go do media day for UFC, you two. And all of a sudden you're back there and people are throwing fucking kicks and punches.
Bro, I was listen. True
like
story,
actual fighters.
Bro,
I mean,
true story. I was invited to the Colby Covington press conference, and I joined him backstage. And then, like, lo and behold, here comes Kamaru Usman, and I'm with Colby's crew, and me, Kevin, Pat Buck, we're all back there, and they almost killed each other. And I was like, okay, who's gonna break this up? And then like Cody No Love's there, and he like dips. He was like, I am not staying in this shit. He gets out of there. I'm like, TJ Dillashaw was there. He dips out of the way. Like, bro, Kamaru Usman probably could have killed me if I wasn't.
Though, like,
I was there. My fists were clenched, but I was like,
fuck.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with these things.
You were gonna hold them straight up over your head as you were stiffing like a board on the ground. You would have been like this.
I just been like,
he believed in God then.
That's really good. All right, the game last night.
God bless.
To the game last night of the Rams and the Bills.
Real quick, I do want to say something. Nate Diaz is going to make a scene. He's going to tap out before the fight starts. He's going to smoke weed on the way out to the cage.
Oh, that's for sure.
One of those things are going to happen. Something crazy is going to happen.
He's going to tap.
Football.
Before we get there, let me just cover the reads real quick before we get into all this stuff.
Over. It's football.
Yeah, baby. It's football Sunday, football Friday. We get it. We're going to get to you guys with all the leans, but I do want to tell you guys that this show is being brought to you in part by the Fusco Insurance Agency, FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. He's talking life insurance now, folks. Okay, he's going to help you out. If you have no limited medical underwriting questions, if you have any standard life policies that are medically underwritten, offer plans for 30 top carriers, whole life term, return of premium term, index. The guy's got everything. So basically, if you're Nate Diaz, this is something that you might want to look into, some life insurance, because if you do get into the octagon and you do fight this animal, you might need this more than anybody. You don't only just receive life insurance coverage with our plans, but we can include the living benefit of long-term health care coverage in the event you become ill or disabled. We know one product doesn't fit everyone, so we specialize in customizing your plan to meet your needs. Go check him out, FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. And of course, our friends over at DatChat with that new blockchain and NFTs and a social media thing. I started talking to Glenn the other day about some real cool shit that we could be down the pipeline. SteveAspar.com. Also, you definitely want to go check him out. He's the one who just redesigned ChopSportsMedia.com. And of course, our friends at Lowell's. If you saw, I posted today on the Chop Sports Media Instagram. We got some water bottles now. We got some creative merchandise that those guys can do like that. Literally, like before I even left yesterday, I got a picture right before I got in my car, and they're like, "Oh, these are done." I'm like, "She was here for 4 minutes." Like it was pretty impressive. So check those girls out down the hall. They do a lot of great custom work, and of course, you have something for your butthole and booty juice.
Yeah, so head on over to manscaped.com, use the promo code CHOPSPORTS, and you get 20% off a pair of clean-shaven balls. So clean-shaven balls are the way to go in 2022 as we approach 2023. I know it's winter and it's bundle up hoodie season, but it doesn't mean to grundle up. You got to get rid of the grundle. Shave the ball sack. Use the promo code CHOPSPORTS, manscaped.com. And with those savings, you're going to head on over to Facebook and join the Chop Sports Facebook group. Click on the link for the Survivor Pool. It is the biggest running pool in all of the state of New Jersey, and it's the most reputable pool. If you've been in Central Jersey, if you live here, you know someone who's been in this pool for the last 10 years running. Last year was over 65K. This year they're approaching 75K, maybe 80K. I had a nice conversation with these guys yesterday. He was actually impressed by how I'm pushing it on the show. So thank you for that. But look, reach out to me. I know about 5 or 10 of you guys last night sent me a Venmo. Make sure when you Venmo me, you attach it, you label it Survivor Pool, and then look, we're good to go. So get them in before Sunday. Nobody cares about yesterday's game. I don't think one player in the entire pool picked the Rams or the Bills, so we were safe there.
If you did, you were very, very risky.
Yeah, so Sunday is a deadline. They're very fair, so get it in, and then we'll work out the way to get the money in. As long as it's in by week 1, we're all good to go. So these guys are great. Go check it out. It's got to get in this. Got to be in it to win it.
Bring me up that Bills-Rams game, boy, because last night was absolutely, as Gooch would say, dominant. And this was a Bills blowout in LA. So the whole, Odell there, feel-good story, Whitworth there, everybody, let's raise the banner. They said, hold all the beers. The Bills went in there and beat the brakes off the Rams. Now, this is something that we definitely, you mentioned yesterday. It all really depended. Look, me and you took the home dogs because it's like, oh, this is utter disrespect. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to play well. It's their home. They're coming off their banner thing. It's going to be good. And clearly that wasn't the case. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. And I don't individually call out players for fantasy. I don't. But Cam, my man, Cam Akers, dude, get on the field. Find a way to get on the field for the rest of the year, because you're going to make my draft pick look really stupid if you don't actually split some carries.
Yeah.
Bad running game, bad start to it. Stafford just got the shit kicked out of him. And for a guy who came off elbow surgery, I don't know if you noticed this. Was that sleeve on his whole time? I don't think it was.
I don't know.
When he started the game, he didn't have a sleeve on. All of a sudden, he has a sleeve on.
The first quarter and then like a lot of the second quarter, I was doing other things. But
Jack came on, same thing. Allen Robinson, MIA, my man.
Well, look,
2 targets.
Could we just? I want to pump the brakes on the Cam Akers not being a thing, and I want to pump the brakes on Allen Robinson's lackluster performance and the Rams in general. The Buffalo Bills are a really good team. It's week 1. There's going to be some growing pains, I think, with the Rams. Cam Akers, I don't want to hold him accountable because I don't know, even if he played yesterday, there wasn't much going on the ground, so probably wouldn't have done much. But you'd like to see him out there with the starting bunch for sure.
Yeah.
I think that he's just not ready injury-wise. He gave himself, and they gave him a clean bill of health going into the weekend. All that did was confuse fantasy owners when I got the update. And it was the first quarter. I sat Cam Akers yesterday because I wasn't fully confident and I had the options. But, it's a tough situation for guys that invested a 3rd-round pick on that guy. Now, just because of the uncertainty going into week 2, you got to see it now. Now we got to see, is he this year's Antonio Gibson? Could very well be that.
Let's talk about Jalen Ramsey for a second too, man.
You mean burnt toast?
Because my targets, 7 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Now, was Jalen Ramsey shadowing Stephon Diggs?
Pretty much.
No. Jalen Ramsey was playing the slot a lot last night.
And McKenzie ate too.
And McKenzie did eat. And my boy Gabe Davis ate as well with a touchdown. Dawson Knox, not so much. Yes. All right. Anthony's chiming in. He's excited about
Don't get ahead of yourself, buddy.
You better relax with that one over there, bro. Ramsey with a perfect quarterback rating. Yes. I want to say this, and I'll be remiss if I didn't bring this up. So obviously it's a tragic day in the world of England. Okay. And TMZ put out a tweet yesterday that said Queen Elizabeth II, the longest surviving monarch in British history, has died. And it was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. The Queen's dead. She was old, it was a matter of time. The first comment that got very, very big traction was one James Rube, who commented, Josh Allen over 34.5 rushing yards, lock emoji. Yeah. I mean, first of all, it hit. So that's we all betted here.
Organically came across it on Twitter, and it was one of the best things that happened to my day. I was like, wow, this is fucking.
That was the tweet of the it is, and people like this. So that just goes to show you that there are people out there still with a personality, you know what I mean, and humor. And while we don't celebrate death by any stretch of the imagination, it was a proper
Jimmy,
done
tweet. You forgot to put the rest of your sentence. And Derrick Henry will not rush for 100 yards
in the first quarter.
The first half. Yeah,
he might though.
He might.
My God!
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the game though, because I did pick the Rams, and it was really a home team getting points. Disrespect on week 1. It's really hard to handicap week 1 because there's nothing to go off of. It's not like you could look what they did last week. Yeah, but the pass is 2 different teams now. Von Miller's not there. Odell's not there. Even though Odell was there.
My God.
Even though Odell was there, what's going on? Why is everybody curious as to where Odell's going to sign? Odell's a Ram. He was on the fucking sideline.
I mean, he was there for his ring.
Odell's a Ram.
Okay.
He was wearing Rams gear. He was like,
he's like, yo, can I get my jersey? Like, no, man, he can't put a jersey on you.
Are you ready for this?
Wear the hoodie.
Are you ready for this? He has a locker. Really? They didn't give his locker away.
Oh,
man. Oh, so
he's a Ram.
So it's a formality at this point.
He's a Ram.
Yeah. All right,
he's a Ram. Unless they suck.
I know whose fantasy team he is on. Mine.
You took him? Yeah, I had him for a minute, and I was like, "This is
I've already almost dropped him 13 times because I drafted.
He's gonna be out for a while.
I drafted him anticipating the IR spot. He's got to sign with a team to get on the
See,
IR.
that's how you finagle and the stupid
That's how
IR
people
spot.
get beat up at baseball games, ladies. and
No,
gentlemen.
no. You know what I didn't do though? You know what I didn't do? I didn't change the rule to tailor it for my team. Now I just got to eat the roster spot, which a lot of fantasy commissioners do that. By the way, be very, very wary of your fantasy commissioner.
Or weary.
Wary. Weary is not the right word.
What?
Wary. W-A-R-Y.
Be weary of it.
Weary is no.
Be wary of it?
Wary.
I say be weary.
You said be wary.
Rob,
Why did you say beware? I'm just saying it. Does it make sense or no?
It does. Both make sense, but
all right.
So the pass rush was too much.
Yes.
They couldn't get the running game going. I thought if there was going to be one thing that would be the bugaboo for the Bills or the Rams would be the offensive line. And I don't know how that offensive line is going to hold up against that division. Some of those, the 49ers are going to eat them alive. I know that the Cardinals
Stafford's not Mr. Scramble either.
Cardinals did lose Chandler Jones though, so their pass rush is a little bit less than it was last year. But yeah, the Rams, that's going to be a situation for them. They lack toughness, physicality. They got beat up across the board.
Got whooped.
Nothing they did was right. Stafford looks like he's throwing the ball, like running for his life. You got to give him the pass a little bit, but even the one that I guess you could call it a pass, but they called it a run where he threw Cam Akers. It was like 6 yards in the backfield.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Like, what were you
You
thinking?
don't even get a PPR point for that. It's behind the line of scrimmage. That was awful. And I will say this, got to give the flowers to where it's due as well. Von Miller absolutely crushed this game. And Josh Allen, dude, as advertised, will only get better. Like he's dunking the ball into the end zone. Like he's just an overall freak of an athlete. That guy's going to have a fantastic season.
Is he taking too many hits though?
I mean, I guess when you're talking about like longevity and he wants to run, I was just going to say he's built more like a Cam Newton rather than a Kyler Murray. He's got a little size to him, so he could probably withstand a little bit more. You don't want to sustain that. You don't want to continue to play that way. But when you have a cannon like that, it's just
I think he'll be all right. I mean, I don't see it as anything. He's a big dude.
That's what I'm saying.
And he really, I think a lot of these guys are shying away from the contact on him. Over time, eventually it could lead to something. And obviously, anytime you're putting yourself in a violent situation, you could get hurt.
Right.
Josh Allen initiates a lot of the contact. He's not like a quarterback running the ball by any stretch. And I remember a time last year where Josh Allen was basically their entire team. Right. The Bills were really they weren't playing well and Josh Allen carried them. And that was the kind of conversation last year. It was like, is Josh Allen just doing too much? This year, I feel like the supporting cast is a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate him having to do that every week. Not like he even had to do it this week. He just plays that way.
Right.
It's a different Bills team, man.
We'll see. We'll see. I picked him to win the Super Bowl. So that looks all right. So far after 1 week, long season to go. Speaking of the long season,
it's true.
What?
Allen is an absolute stud, but he doesn't see any reason for the fourth quarter up 21 option. And then he's seeking out contact. Like that's got to stop.
Yeah. Don't put your shoulder down.
That's got to stop.
The stiff arm. My God. The stiff arm was that guy will never live that down. Like you got stiff arm by a quarterback, my man. Like that's rough.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we get the real stuff. This
Rob,
is
get your pen and paper out because here we go. I know Kyle's been begging for this for, I don't know, the whole show. So everything. So if you want to set, actually, damn, dude, I just thought about this. What we got to get Lean Fridays back.
Yeah.
We got to get Kyle back in here for Lean Fridays, bro. So let's arrange that soon. All right. We'll start on the local front. Okay. Now we just got news before this that, what's his name?
Lamar Jackson.
No. Well, that
Orlando
too.
Brown.
The left tackle. Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown ruled out for this one. Left tackle. Blindside for Mr. Flacco is now bare, and that's going to be yikes. But Hawaii Mike came in a couple times today, said Lamar Jackson did not. The extension deadline is up. It did not happen, and that's it. They won't talk about it anymore. And then potentially, you're going to have yourself a very sticky situation at the end of the year. But he's going like the Aaron Judge route almost. You know what I mean? Like I'll just go play. And if I ball out, guess what? I'm worth 10 times as much as what I said I was worth originally, and you're going to give me my guaranteed money. So ball out, kid. Ball out. But when looking at this game, as much as I want when I picked the Jets to go 5-0 to start the season, and then I still have them at 10 wins throughout the season as of yesterday, I still had the Jets winning 10 games. Unfortunately, this is not going to be one of them. And the spread is big. So that's why I think It's weary. That's why I think
it's very tired.
What?
It's a tired point spread.
Yeah. What?
That's what weary means.
This point spread is tired. Okay. I don't like the spread. I don't like this part of the gambling aspect of things, because can the Jets be competitive? I hope it's not a blowout for the Jets fans' sake. You know, it's going to be a nice day. Apparently, I heard today from Boomer and Gio that the crowd is actually going to sing the national anthem.
That's pretty dope.
The crowd for 9/11 and everything like that. So it's going to be a great atmosphere over there, remembering them and that day. But it's like the Ravens are probably going to doo-doo all over them, and that's going to it's going to bring the morale down like this. I'm taking the Ravens here minus the 7. I can't do it.
Dave's is circling back hard on his, what is it, 11-win Jets?
10-win Jets. And what, they're not, as if there's not 16 more after this? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. They're not going to go 5-0.
No, of course they're not going 5-0. I told you they weren't going 5-0 yesterday.
All right, 4-0, 3-0. They're not winning. They're not going on 1-0.
They're not going to
fucking get starched by the Ravens. The 7 points is a little like home team getting points in the home openers. You know, you got to assume like there's a chance here, but no. The Ravens are a good team this year. I feel like the Ravens are going to be there at the end. Last year, they had a tough situation. Lamar didn't play well. I think the Ravens are and Lamar's playing for money now. Like, not that he wasn't always playing for money, but now
Bigger
it's
money.
official contract year. I feel like the Ravens are going to light him up. I know Dobbins might not go in this one, but Mike Davis is probably.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Dobbins no go?
J.K. Dobbins is a game time decision.
So here's Kyle with the stat of the day. 70% of the money is on Baltimore. It was 85% earlier this week. Surprising amount of Jets action coming in on this one. And like, I think that the only reason why this is happening is because of the vibes. It's opening day. It's like, can you really get starched? And then people are going to like really worry about this shit.
And Kyle's saying that more of the Jets bets came in after the Zach Wilson news, which is a little strange. That is a little
because
weird.
Because Joe Flacco is a capable quarterback.
But I also think maybe it just put a little more. Nobody knew what was going to happen, and they were waiting for some certainty, I guess.
I'm interested to see if the line moves anymore today because of the fact that Dwayne Brown got ruled out. So now that's going to be interesting too. But in this show, on these picks, I'm taking him minus 7.
I don't know that the tackle, he's not good enough to like move
their left tackle.
But he's already a backup.
No, he's their
starter.
Yeah.
They signed
him. They signed him to be the starter.
I know, but he's like the backup. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's not their starter. He's a stopgap already. He's not that good. He was out of the league a week ago.
All right, Rob, we're both on the Ravens here. Are you home cooking?
7 is too big of a number. I think the Jets hang in there. I don't think they win, but I'm going to take the Jets with the number.
There you go. Yes. So there is a first official pick of a Sunday slate. Just so you guys are aware, and I want to preface this now, my picks are locked in right now. So are Rob's. And for the show purposes, based off of this, Chris Gucci's picks are here, and they're going to be recorded as our records and stuff. But stay tuned for Sunday mornings where Chris dives a little deeper into some of these games. If he's a little wary on some of the spreads or whatever, and there's some more movement, it's very hard, especially if you're a handicapper like Kyle or anybody at the Sauce Network. For you to make a bet on a Friday for a Sunday game is irresponsible, I think. For our show purposes, we're going to do that here. But stay tuned for Gooch for more of
so on Sunday, I'll try and go live on Sunday mornings.
That's not going to happen, by the way.
Figure out some type of thing. We'll work it out. I'm not going to go live on YouTube. That's for goddamn sure. But there will be ways that we're going to do some content as I talk about not every game, because some of the games I'll pick here. But if I'm one way or if I could be swayed one way or the other, I'll come make it official on Sunday.
All right, let's keep it local. Stay with the New York Football Giants. A lot of interesting takes on this one because of the fact that I have knowledge to know that some of my friends are picking the Titans as their survivor pick right off the rip against the Giants. And that is interesting to me. The spread is 5.5, the over under 43.5. The money line is as heavy on the Titans here. I think minus 250. It's up there. But if you're feeling froggy, then leap. As far as this game is concerned, because the game, if this game was in New York, I would say maybe I have a case that the Giants play well, right? But the game's in Tennessee. Derrick Henry's healthy. We're going to see Tannehill do his thing. The receiving core is suspect. Their defense is suspect. But I'm just not a believer in the Giants yet. I mean, if they go out there and let's just say blow the doors off the Titans week 1, you're like, okay, hold on, bump the brakes. Week 1 is very hard to pick. But with this -5.5, I'm going to lean towards the Titans on this one. Gooch.
Yeah, I like the Titans in this one too. I haven't the Giants offensive line, it might be improved this year. Saquon being back, that's like a good they have another weapon that they could use, but I'm not a big fan of Saquon. I think he makes them worse. I know that that's crazy to say. Daniel Jones, we got to see more from. The only thing I'll say is that it's week 1 and the Titans lost a lot too. So there's a new offense over there, but they do have Derrick Henry back, and I don't see anybody that's going to be able to stop him on the Giants defense. I think the Giants defense is going to be their biggest downfall this year. They have no one in the back end. While they were managed like 2 seasons ago, it looked like their defense was on the come up. They played like dog shit last year.
Nick.
Yeah, I'm not in on the Giants at all.
First of all, I do want to reflect
I'll
back.
lay the 5.5.
Refer back to the Kyle Curbs comment. 84% of the money is on the Giants right now. Ton of money coming in on the G-Men on the road. Very interested there. But Nick, look, I know, listen, we love you, man. And you're our sound engineer and you're a part of this crew, right? But the whole stop sleeping on my Giants, what are we supposed to be woke to? You know what I mean? Like, the Giants have sucked
since 2011. If the Giants are 4-2, and then I'll be like, you know, it might be time to stop sleeping on the Giants. But even 2-1, nothing, that doesn't mean shit.
I'm not. There's no sleeping on this team because they're still sleeping. So they can't seem to. I'm not sold on the New York Giants. I'm sorry. Prove me different. Prove me otherwise. Go out there, handle business on the road in Tennessee, and we'll start talking. I'll take 1 week at a time, but I'll start talking.
I like the under in this
complete
game,
conversation. Yeah, me too. Actually, that's one of those things I was going to bring up. The under is definitely.
I'm on the same page as you guys, though. I watched the preseason and the Giants
preseason doesn't really show
but their
much.
Secondary was bad, dude. Bad, like very bad. I just don't see how they're going to keep up with the Titans in this one. So
yeah, so the Giants D line is not good at stopping the run. It's going to be a long day for Uncle Jesse. So yeah, stay right, exactly. Stay off the weed. All right, moving on. Here's an interesting one. The Cardinals open up their season against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 6-point favorites on the road in Arizona. That to me is alarming because when you look at a team like the Cardinals, every year they're hot to start, right? They come out firing on all cylinders. Kyler Murray looks good every beginning of the season.
Money line.
They don't have what?
I like the Cardinals in this one.
Yeah, they don't have DeAndre Hopkins for 6 games, right? For the PED stuff. They do have Hollywood Brown, no suspension after him, free driving on the highway doing a $110 or whatever the hell he was doing. They do have a capable running game now. James Conner is there, but the guy behind him, he might even be better. The Cardinals offense is going to be okay. Now, when you look at the Chiefs team, a lot of people are saying the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl this year, right? They got Patrick Mahomes, and when you have Mahomes, you have everything you need, right? And he's got Kelsey, he's got Juju, he's got all these guys, and he's got a somewhat of a decent running game. That's a little murky too, but yeah, I did see the injury report. It is kind of alarming, but on this one, Rondale Moore and Zach Ertz going to be out. I don't know, man. I can't see the Cardinals losing. They might lose, but it'll be close. I'm going to take the Cardinals at home, and I don't have the Cardinals winning a lot of games this year, but the Cardinals at home in this situation, I'm going to rock the Cardinals here. +6.
I did not look at the injury report. I just looked at the point spread, and this is why I don't like to make my picks, because right now at first glance, I love the Cardinals. I really do. I'm not going with them just yet because I do have to see which of these guys play. Rube is saying that Rondale and Ertz are both going to be out. I don't really give a fuck if JJ Watt plays or not. I think that he's overrated anyway, but I do like the Cardinals because of the way that they've played the last 2 seasons in the when it's nice out and it's warm weather. It's like tailor-made for them at home, and they've played well at home in the first half of the season the last 2 years. And I don't believe in the Chiefs back end. They lost Melvin Ingram. They lost the Honey Badger. That hurts their defense. That if you look at their defense in the beginning of the year last year, before they had Melvin Ingram, they were the worst unit in football, arguably. You could make the case that they were the worst unit in football. They don't have those guys this year. So I think the Chiefs are going to struggle to stop people. I think the overs are going to slap in almost every Kansas City game. They couldn't make this over high enough. I like the over for sure. And then I'll have to come back on Sunday with this one because
for show purposes,
I'll lean with the Cardinals though.
Okay. Rob?
Also Cardinals. I don't believe in the Chiefs this year. I don't see it.
Okay.
Defense is not good. I don't
The
think.
offensive line is good.
All
Though.
right.
Rube is making
Ready?
a very
Yep.
solid
Let's
point.
go to one of the more intriguing matchups of the weekend, and that is the Washington Commanders opening up their first game ever as the Commanders. So they're just going to change their team name every year just to try to get like new starts. And we're going to be the ones to kind of release their names before they can. But it is the Commanders hosting the Jaguars. The Commanders are favored 2.5 at home. I don't give a flying fart. This is not going to go in the Commanders' favor. The Jaguars are winning this game on the road. Trevor Lawrence, that entire new unit out there, the Jaguars are absolutely winning this game. I'm taking the Jaguars on the money line. Gooch?
It's a tough one for me, obviously. I don't know enough about the Jaguars with their new system. They have Doug Peterson's. I believe that he's going to make things very boring for them and make it very easy for Trevor Lawrence to do well and succeed. The Commanders, Carson Wentz is a scrub. I'm not picking them because of him, honestly. So, and Chase Young is out. There's a lot of holes in the Commanders' defense. Chase Young being back would help that a lot. He's going to be out for another month. I'll go with the Jaguars in this one, and I'll lock it in, actually. I'm not going to come back. I'm big on the Jaguars this year. It's week 1. There's not much to go off of. I think that the Jaguars will play well.
Rob?
3 in a row, guys.
All right, there it is. Jaguars to the house. All right, now this one's going to be interesting. The Houston Texans are getting 7 at home with the visiting Indianapolis Colts. New look Colts. No more Wentz. Insert Matt Ryan. I think that the Colts are a much better team, a very good team. The only problem I have with this one is it's a division game, week 1, heavy spread. The Texans are, while they're a piss poor team, and I don't think they're any good, they might keep this close. I don't know. Dameon Pierce is looking good. Nico Collins is out there doing his thing. Davis Mills, new coaching staff out there. It's Lovie Smith officially has the job over there. I mean, this one.
If I could place a bet right now for Dameon Pierce to lose a fumble, I would.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're not sold on Pierce anymore.
I am sold on Pierce. I'm just a lot more sold on Darius Leonard. Ability to punch the ball out.
Over here.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Colts. I'll just jump you on this one.
Yeah,
the Colts are primed this year. I think they could be one of the better teams in the NFL.
I guess I'm going to ride with you guys. I don't like the pick. I don't like the spread, to be honest with you. But I'll take the Colts too as well. I mean, they're gonna score points. I mean, it's just a matter of how many points they can get. Can the Texans make it close, make it interesting? You know, heavy spreads like this, all it takes is like the Texans to go right down the field and score a touchdown on the opening drive, and you're like, oh fuck.
Not really though.
It does. I understand, but it's just, I don't know.
Kyle, there's some weird money movement on these. As Kyle's dropping these little tidbits in the comments, Houston Texans are the most public dogs of the week. Everyone's betting the Texans. 83% of the money is on Houston. That's very surprising. I feel like that was the case with the Giants. I feel like that was the case where we're talking like, I would think that the public is that shows you how fucked up week 1 is for me, because I typically like to fade the public, and I feel like I'm with the public on a lot of these.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm fading the public there though. The Colts, can't believe not everyone's on the Colts.
That's insane to me too. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Detroit Lions hosting for the first time in a long time. I forget the years or how many years. This game is sold out. The Lions haven't sold out a home opener in quite some time. They did it this year. Let it be Hard Knocks. Let it be the Campbell hype. Let it be all that stuff. That's interesting to see that, they're going to get a nice crowd. The Eagles are favored by 4 on the road. And while I think the Eagles are going to be a very good team this year, and I think they win 13, 14 games, I really do think the Eagles are going to be very good. Not today. The Lions win their opener in front of their home crowd. Campbell and company, it's just a feel-good story. This is one of my go with your gut Daves. This is one of those feelings. It's a go with a gut situation. I'll take the Lions. I will take the points just in case, but I will take the Lions in this game.
I feel like the Lions have maybe a chance at a backdoor cover, but the Eagles are going to control this game.
Remember what the Lions did last year with the covering.
Backdoor covers. I'm going to still take the Eagles. I still think the Eagles are a way better team. The Lions have some injury issues. They're super young. They had some momentum last year, but they still picked in the top 5. It's not like the Lions won a ton of football games.
Yeah, no.
They got to get over the next hump. There's no guarantee that they're going to be better this year.
And Hard Knocks really, paints that picture like they're on the come up and they got this great coaching staff and it's a lot of fun and everybody's having a good time.
The Eagles are good up front on both sides of the ball. They have a really good secondary, and Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback that I don't know if he's great as a passer, but they have weapons on the outside now. They have a tight end, and while their running backs aren't great, their battery of the running backs is pretty good. Like they have guys that could do some things.
So Kyle brought up the stat right before. Bring that back up.
Gotcha.
58% of the money is on Detroit. Hard Knocks got everyone high. I'm on the Birds. So looks like Kyle's leaning towards the Birds, and I'm sure that'll stay the way that stays. So I'm with the Lions. You're with the Eagles. Rob, how you're gonna split the difference here?
You know how I feel about the Eagles. I don't believe in them. I think the Lions.
It's music to my ears, Rob.
So.
Lions all day. Let's go. That's Hawaii Mike's former team, right?
Yeah, and I think Darius Slay is going to pick off Goff. Right, former Lion. I feel like that's going to happen.
Writings on
in
the wall.
Detroit too. I can see that. Yeah.
All right, this spread should be absolutely higher, I think. But it is the Bears hosting the San Francisco 49ers. The spread is 6.5. The Bears are favored at home. The Bears are home dog. A lot of home dogs this opening week. But look, you started talking to me a little bit yesterday about, like, not that you're buying into the hype, but you just think that maybe Justin Fields does take the next step in being a better quarterback. Not saying he's going to be the elite.
I think that Justin Fields, the Bears are going to lose a ton of football games, but I think Justin Fields has the athletic ability to, like, completely take over specific games himself and win games for that team. Like, he has a cannon. He could run 80 yards on a touchdown just like that. He could change the game with his feet. I don't think the Bears are good, but I'm going to give the Bears a little bit more than like a top 3 pick based on Justin Fields' athleticism.
Scoop says the Niners are his survivor pick, so he's putting a stock of the $100.
Yeah, they're not winning this week. The Bears are getting starched week 1.
Another weird one. Everyone's betting the Bears. 68% on Chicago. Line drops from 7 to 6.5. People are loving the dogs in week 1. I, for one, I'm with the Niners here. I like, as much as Justin Fields might take the next step this year, which, again, if you're a football fan, and more specifically a Bears fan, you hope he does, right?
Everyone's terrified in week 1, it seems. Like, everyone's afraid. I'm afraid to make a pick in week 1. That's really what it comes down to.
Finished product in week 1. You don't know what the team is made of.
Going,
so I'm with the Niners. Are you with the Niners?
Data.
Niners?
I'm doing the Trey Lance
Niners
all year.
Trey Lance dance, baby. Here we go.
Trey Lance, make me dance, baby.
Jimmy Garoppolo is going to start second half. Anyway, so the Steelers interdivision. I know.
Interdivision. If they're up 28 or 35.
Yeah, he'll get some garbage time. Interdivisional matchup here with the Bengals hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bengals are favored 6.5 here. Again, one of those things where just like, is this team going to have that Super Bowl hangover? While they didn't win it, it's still a thing.
I feel like Cincinnati lit Pittsburgh up last year twice. And I know they lit them up at least once. Rob, you check that for me if you can.
But when you're looking at this one, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. But this one's interesting because you don't know what Mitch is going to do with this offense. You don't know how. You would assume his leash is very long. I know they promoted Pickett to the second spot, but like, I don't know, man. Like, the Bengals are going to score some points. The Bengals still have their offense from last year. They focused again more on their offensive line to protect Joey Burrow. They added Lyle Collins, right? I guess maybe give me the Bengals here because they're home.
I'm not taking the Bengals in this one. It's weird, very low point total for me to be laying 6.5.
On the November 28th, they beat them 41-10 and
Starching
24-10.
Yeah, so they pretty much
the
handled
Bengals
them
both. And I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers being better than they were last year.
They're right off the rip. I don't think they're worse. I think the offense is like a lateral move. If anything, they may have slightly improved with Trubisky's ability to get out of the pocket a little bit. And Big Ben has something that nobody really had last year. Big Ben's quarterback rating in the fourth quarter was like number 1 in the football. Yeah. So while he didn't play good for 3 quarters, he turned it up when it mattered most. I think Trubisky will be the opposite. You'll probably get a slightly better play than you got out of him for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter he'll shit the bed. I feel like this is going to be a close one, though. I feel like it's going to be a close game.
Are you making a pick for the sake of the show?
The sake of the show, I'm going to take the Steelers because, like I said, laying 6.5 at only 40.5.
Oh, good point. Mike, Hawaii Mike. Jimmy G gets no garbage time. $250K for each time he takes a snap of 25% of the snaps.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's not going to happen. Yeah. All right. So I'm riding the Bengals right now. I think the Super Bowl hangover will happen. I think the spread's a little too high.
I'll probably end up betting Pittsburgh in this one. That's going to be the one. Yeah, I like Pittsburgh a lot in this one.
I'm going to take the Bengals here. Go ahead.
I'm on the Steelers as well.
Okay. Steelers it is. All right.
So we go to the next game.
Who is on the docket? Revenge. Revenge is on the mind of one Baker Mayfield as the Carolina Panthers host the Cleveland Browns. The spread is the Panthers are favored at home, 1.5, which again, to me, that's as close to a pick 'em as you can get, to be honest with you. It is Baker Mayfield against Jacoby Brissett, no Deshaun Watson. That won't be happening for 10 games, as we all know already.
Oh, wait.
I'm going to look at this one, and I'm going to say, what's wrong?
I just got to recheck that point spread. I never put pluses there. It's usually just the favorite.
Are they? So you think the Browns are road dogs? No way. Not with Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
Yeah, no, I was going to say no way. I'm going to listen. I think the Panthers are going to be a much improved team with Baker Mayfield. That's just my opinion. I think the offense will flow as long as McCaffrey, who already popped up on the injury report, fucking guy. Swear to God, man. It's like, oh yeah, McCaffrey with a shin. I was like, Rube. I was like right away. I was like, oh my God. But I'm going to take the Panthers here. I think they get it done. I think Baker Mayfield shoves it up the Browns keister and tells them, just remember that. What was that one meme where he's like on the sidelines? He like grabs his nuts. Like that's what I think happens.
Yeah, he's gonna tell them to shove it up their keister, and then Myles Garrett's gonna chase him down, rip his helmet off of him, and beat him over the head with it. Yeah, I feel like the entire Browns defense.
He got a cut on his shin.
The entire Browns defense has been waiting to actually crush Baker Mayfield for like 3 years now.
And looking at their chops for this.
The Browns are going to dominate this game. I think Carolina's not good.
So you're on the Jacoby Brissett train. Okay, I like it. All right.
No, I'm not. I'm on the Browns defense train, and I'm definitely not on the Baker Mayfield train.
I know you're not. You've not been a Baker Mayfield guy. Rob, split the difference.
Panthers.
All right, here we go. We're rocking with the Panthers here in week 1. By the way, Hubbard is not the backup, Bailey.
Man, we'll see.
He's not listed as the backup. Deontay Foreman. So go get the right one.
Yeah, and Cam Akers was listed as a starter.
Yeah, that's true too. So anyway, let's move it on to Miami. Miami Dolphins are hosting the New England Patriots, and I've been on record to say that the Patriots are going to be a bad football squad this year, and that's what I still stick with. It's interesting to see Tua with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and their running game consisting of 54 guys. New coaching staff down there. I love their head coach. I think he's a character, and I think he's great for the league. Give me the Dolphins in this one all day, every day. Might even be a double-digit win. Gooch.
This is a tough one for me. It's not a no-brainer by any stretch. The only reason why I'm not taking the Patriots is because their corner is out. Right? They're out their number one corner, and I feel like that's going to be a real situation trying to cover Miami's receivers. I'll lean towards Miami because they kind of had Belichick's number over the last couple of seasons, but it was a different coach. It was Flores. So there's like a lot of familiarity there.
Not with this kid. I like him.
Not with this kid. But no, that's the reason why I feel like the Dolphins have been kind of playing up to the Patriots level over the last couple of seseasons. They always play the Patriots well.
Yeah, but the Patriots don't even have a coaching staff at this point. They don't even know where to go with this shit.
That's not true. They have Bill Belichick.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins, but I'm leaning towards the Dolphins. I don't know. I still feel like that.
Sean Redden saying Bill Belichick versus a rookie head coach. Enough said.
Yeah, like that hook is what's scaring me.
That's not to me. That's not a thing. Not this time around. That guy doesn't even know where the hell he is at this point. He's gonna come out there like,
bro, that's a
good football team.
What? Bill Belichick doesn't know where he is.
You can tell he was out of touch last year.
Can you do that again though? Can you do like the thing?
Bill Belichick knows he's still a really good.
What was that?
Do that again.
They were almost the one. Yeah. They were like in play for the one season, week 16 last year.
Couldn't stop Tua. He's a good football player, and that's what happens.
All right, fuck it. Patriots are getting
do
3.5.
Do that.
I'll take the Patriots.
Go ahead. Go with your Bill boy. All right, moving on. Let's go. Oh, sorry, bro. Yes. All right. Dolphins. So interesting AFC East picture, by the way. The Jets might be obviously would be the Patriots too. All right, Saints, Falcons. Again, Falcons looking like a there you go. I'm getting some praise from my Belichick. The Falcons are opening up at home. Obviously, it's Marcus Mariota. And, it's going to be tough sledding for them the entire year. We all know this. Is Ritter going to be in there eventually? We don't know. Their running game situation. Is it Algier? Is it Cordell Patterson? Wide receivers on the outside? Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? So it's just – and no, Jesus Christ is not playing for the outside. I'm saying that just, it's a tough sledding. The Saints are going to be a good football team. And I think they'll be in it towards the end, but probably fall off a little bit. As long as Jameis Winston stays healthy, I think they could be pretty good. Their defense is pretty good. But I'm looking at this game in particular with a 5.5-point spread on the road in a dome. Give me the Saints on the road. Gooch?
I'm going to take the Falcons here.
Okay.
5.5 at home, division game. I don't think either team is great. I think the Falcons aren't good at all. The Saints are middle of the pack, but Jameis isn't fully healthy. We'll see. I'm going to take the home team getting the points here. 5.5 is a lot. Saints haven't done shit.
I'm taking the Saints.
All right. Kyle came in. Hold on one second. Go back to that one. Kyle came in. Heavy action on New Orleans. 76% of the money on the Saints. Falcons have a good corners. Hot Atlanta plus 5.5 might be a nice, sharp winner here. So interesting from the Sauce himself. Yeah. So we'll go again. Falcons best bet of the week. Scoop saying. Who's the receiver that
Drake
Falcons
London?
Yeah, Drake London.
I think he's hurt.
He might be banged up too. So they're going to be hard pressed for points in Atlanta. So that's why I can't.
Cordell Patterson, baby.
Yeah, he's going to be fed, I guess. Moving on. This is a great game, a banger of a game in week 1. I can't wait to watch this one. It is the Los Angeles Chargers favored 3.5 at home. Wow, they're having 2 games there this weekend. I'm saying the Rams were there last night and the Chargers are home too. And they'll turn around and play the Raiders. So the Raiders, they're an interesting bunch. I mean, last year, fringe playoff team.
No, they made
the playoffs. Well, they barely, so maybe fringe making the playoffs. So they barely get in last year. The Chargers are one bad boneheaded coaching decision away from making the playoffs. Listen, the Chargers are one of my big teams in the AFC this year, so I got to ride that, and I got to ride this 3.5. So I think the Chargers take care of business at home. Their offense is going to be very good.
A lot of points in this one, baby. I'm liking the over in this. I think the Chargers defense is good, but usually when you have a prolific offense, which I think the Raiders are going to have this year, they're going to still put up points on everybody. The Chargers is going to be a nice weather game. There's not going to be any conditions to deal with. So points are going to be abundant in this one. 3.5. I feel like the Chargers have a lot of bitter taste in their mouth left from last year's, the way the season ended. It was very, very unique the way the Raiders made the playoffs and the Chargers didn't. There was, if you guys remember that all they needed to do was tie. They didn't tie. Whatever they did, they fucked it up.
Right. Shouldn't have called a timeout.
They shouldn't have called the timeout.
Right,
Thank you, Rob, for the bailout.
77% of the money on the Raiders right now.
It's like I'm leaning towards the Chargers on this one, because I just think there's going to be a ton of points scored, and even a 10-point game at the end, it could be like 50-40. It's going to be close, but
50-4. You think?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this one, bro. It's going to be one of those.
So slap the shit out of the over on this one. He's thinking 90 points are going to be scored.
Maybe not 90, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think it's going to. I think the over is a lock.
Chargers.
So I'm going to lean Chargers here, but that 3.5 scares me a little bit.
Me as well.
All right, 3 for the Chargers. Sorry, Raiders fans. Not today.
Here we go, right here.
We're getting to the home blood here as we wrap up the final 2, and then we'll obviously talk about Monday Night Football game on Monday, or there's only one, right? And then the following week there's a doubleheader. All right, so this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, maybe just Kyle, but there are talks that the Vikings, this could be the year they make that little jump ski and they find themselves at the last couple of weeks where they have a chance to win the NFC North. I think the Vikings are going to be good. I don't know about this offense. This game is in Minnesota. The Packers are going to go out there and look, I can't predict the future, but I will say there's probably going to be a point in this game where Aaron Rodgers, somebody runs the wrong route or something, and Rodgers just has this look on his face like, come on, man. Like, we worked on this. We've done this before. But the Packers being favored on the road, I know there's a lot of hate coming in just because of the situation. It's not, I don't think anybody actually believes,
I don't
that
give a
these
shit
things,
what they believe. They did this all last year, and the Packers covered every week.
I do like the Packers this year. Just based off of what happened last year with the Packers in week 1, and that was with Devontae Adams. They got fucking strangled by the Saints. Give me the Vikings to win in Minnesota on week 1. They'll split this season series. When it gets back to Green Bay, they'll reseat. But I think the Packers are going to be a good football team again, but maybe it'll take a week 1 loss for them to go on another 9-win run or some shit like that.
I think the Vikings are going to be a really good offensive team this year. I think their defense is middle of the pack at best, and I don't think they're going to do very well stopping the run. And I think that's going to be the Packers' clearest path to victory here, is just going to be handing the ball off a bunch of times early, and if they need to rely on Rodgers' arm late, they will. And I'm just not buying in on Kirk Cousins against Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, division game, it's going to be a tight one. This is not going to be an easy one for Green Bay by no stretch. But I think Green Bay's improved defense this year with getting Jair
one of the better
back.
defenses in the league,
is playing, so the offensive line is the first time fully healthy in over a year. And the corners in Green Bay, you look at the Vikings receivers, that's the matchup maybe of the week. Really, Jair against Justin Jefferson, then you got Thielen against Stokes, and then you have Rasul against whoever the third guy is over in Minnesota. It's going to be Osborne. Didn't they just sign Rager?
Yeah. Well, traded for him.
Yeah. Or did you hear the special teams coach talking about Rager?
Oh God,
Bro, he was like
electric kick returner.
It's like pause.
Yeah, a little too much cringy.
But I'm going with the Packers. I haven't picked against the Packers in 40 years. I'm not going to start now. But yeah, that's a lock. You could lock that one in. I'm not leaning anywhere.
If you have a Packers jersey, just show up Sunday, you'll get some snaps of receiver according to Reddit. So we shall see.
Bro, that's what they did on Always. You ever see the Always Sunny Philadelphia episode where Dennis tried to try out for the Eagles?
This was the shirt off?
Should have popped my shirt off.
Should have put my shirt.
God damn it! I should have popped my shirt off.
All right, the fun stops now because now we're talking about
Packers too.
I'm sorry, Rob. Yes, all right. So we're with it. And now the final Sunday night game of the slate are the Dallas Cowboys hosting Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Like a gazelle.
What?
Like a gazelle.
Yeah. such a good episode. Here's the deal. I don't know. Like, I heard a 60-second thing by Boomer Esiason today saying that he thinks that Tom Brady will be in the runnings for MVP again. And I'm sitting around and I'm looking at this guy and I watch his press conferences and I'm like, this guy doesn't even look like it looks like he was pissed off at his family and he came back to play football to avoid him. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it.
I have some news. Could I talk about this? We talk about Tom Brady right now?
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, great. So news came out yesterday about where Tom Brady was 2 weeks ago.
Wait, was it on vacation?
Tom Brady and his wife are split up because she is pissed off that he came back to play football.
Oh, baby, the Cowboys by 30.
I think he wasn't going to come back, but when they announced it before he did, he was like, fuck you. Now I'll just do it myself. I'll play one more year. And now,
like when he was like, no, I didn't. It was like, my wife doesn't know yet, Adam. Like, Adam,
for real, I really
said that they have split and all the money goes to Giselle. Oh my God.
So Tom Brady, single Tom Brady. Oof.
Single Tom Brady. But wait, no, Gooch, no, you have to be who you are, and you have to say, his heart is probably broken. Like Zach Wilson's when he lost his dime piece of a girlfriend.
It is like, broken. That's why he took 2 weeks off of fucking football, because he's trying to fix things.
He don't want to play. He don't want to play. There's friction at home. Their offensive line is banged up. Micah Parsons is going to eat. The Cowboys are going to beat the Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football in front of all you mother effers that watch this game. Give me the Cowboys all day. Big time. Let's go. This is how the season starts. Last year, it was Moral Victory Monday. No. This time, I'm coming in here strutting like motherfucking McGregor on Monday morning. This game is. I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. According to Gary Underwood.
As Ryan Suckup lines up to kick the 42-yard game winner.
Well, who's home? Cowboys?
Bucks by absolutely. Bucks by 3 and a walk-off field goal. Sorry, Dave. That's like
not
very,
happening.
Very likely.
It happened last year. Same way. Don't worry about it. This time, not happening. Listen, I already went on record multiple times. The Cowboys will register 6 sacks on Tom Brady. One of them being a strip sack. This game is going to get ugly. And I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to go out there and be world beaters on offense. I'm not about to say that because I don't know yet. We're going to find out. Tony Pollard's going to get more of the carries now. He's going to get a little split ski with Zeke. And then we'll see what Lamb could do as the number one, right? Offensive line's banged up. It's going to be troublesome. It's going to be a low-scoring game. 50.5. I'm taking the under. That's for damn sure. I'm probably taking the under of this game. I don't bet on the Cowboys games, but I will take the Dallas Cowboys to win this game outright. Get it done.
Ryan Suckup walk-off field goal.
Bro, he had a blister. Just like your shin injury. Fuck that.
Ryan Suckup walk-off field goal for a moral victory for the Cowboys.
I'm riding the Cowboys too.
Not a boy, Rob.
I do want to talk about one thing as we wrap this show up.
Mm-hmm.
Very briefly. Dave brought it to my attention this morning, and it was probably the most entertainment that I've had this morning. And it was about a 10-second snippet of Antonio Brown speaking. So Antonio Brown is on another podcast. It is the Bob Menery's new
Ripper
Magoo podcast. And look, if anybody is entertained by Antonio Brown language as me, then go watch this fucking podcast on YouTube. Not to go boost someone else's content.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure this guy needs a lot of help.
I'm not even really a big fan of Bob Menery anymore. I think he kind of is he showed his true colors in the whole Masvidal situation, which I'm not really a fan of Bob Menery anymore. But nonetheless, the AB interview is pure gold.
I think post-football AB is going to be one hell of a guy. He's going to be like the next Kanye.
I am officially team AB, and I feel like there's some targets to go around in Green Bay.
We want AB.
I don't want none of that. I don't want that. I just would like him to keep doing podcasts.
All right.
AB, Do your own fucking podcast. Like, how great would that be? It would just be
there's noise.
He's having to, he literally had to explain his language when he was like, that's a good fuck.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? He's like, like how you got let go by the Nug Boys. That's a good fuck. Like, they fucked you over. He's like, that's a good fuck.
He's like, you ever been fucked? He's like, no, AB, I've never been fucked. I was like, oh my God, this is getting brutal. Anyway.
Win all day. I mean, like, obviously you want Antonio Brown's abilities, but you see what he's bringing to the table, bro. He's a psychopath. Green Bay, I don't want to deal with none of
maniac.
If you could bring in a vacuum, the talent, of course.
Bro. In a vacuum. There it is.
Of course.
Waiting for that. The over-under slap.
You don't think he would act like that in Green Bay? He might fly off the handle even worse.
You know what? He ain't taking his shirt off in frigid Green Bay. That's for damn sure. He ain't doing that shit. No shot.
When I hear AB talk, I don't think AB is trying to act anyway. That's just literally himself. You put him. AB's going to bring AB to Green Bay, right?
Right.
So is he bringing himself? Then he's going to act that way.
All right, folks. This has been a show. We have picked all the games for this week. Again, be sure to check out Chris Gooch's. Either he can go live on his personal one. Probably be best to just go on Chop Sports Media live or some shit. If you want to make some last minute selections, hopefully we get Kyle back in here for Lean Fridays going forward because those are always fun. We all made our picks here today. The standings started technically last night with last night's loss for me and Gooch, and of course Rob is now in the lead. He's starting off 1-0, and that's it. There's the lead. Imagine AB and Rodgers eating shrooms and watching film together. You'd pay money for that. That would be on the app. The NFL Plus app will feature that content. So it's been a week. It's been fun. We got to announce a lot of cool shit this week. A lot of things are happening. Monday, we got to do a little bit of a soft pilot for Mojo. We're excited about that. We got to get that all cranked out. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's a busy time. Football season is where Chop Sports Media thrives every year. This is another example. Things are just going to get busy. So for Sturch and Gooch, and of course, Wrestling Rob behind the glass, this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Daily. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your football. And big special shout out, happy birthday shout out to me tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.
Go back, go.